In the centuries-old debate about Shakespearean authorship, the question of whether the author of Hamlet or Romeo and Juliet was identical with the man known as William Shakespeare from Stratford, most people cannot fully grasp the extent of inconsistencies that have led to legitimate doubts about his authorship. To give a sense of this issue, including its psychological dimension, I would like to attempt a comparison with a purely fictional scenario. Some critics may object that this situation is not directly comparable to events in England 200 years earlier, but let us set that concern aside for the moment. Imagine a music lover discovering that the greater, and until then, unknown part of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's compositions had only been printed 7 years after his death. How bewildered would he be if, during Mozart's lifetime, there had been no record of his musical activities in Vienna or his birthplace, Salzburg, if nothing about his personality had ever been documented? What if not a single contemporary source had ever referred to him as a musician and composer, or mentioned his musical genius in any form? What if no one in Great Vienna or small Salzburg had ever reported encountering the composer and no one had described his appearance? Meanwhile, various sources confirm that his parents were illiterate, that he himself bought property, engaged in trade, was involved in lawsuits, became quite wealthy, acquired the second most expensive house in town, and married an illiterate farmer's daughter, 8 years his senior and already pregnant. What if, after his death, his will made no mention whatsoever of music, no reference to instruments, sheet music, a musical estate, or any correspondence related to music? If all of this were the case, we would have to imagine Mozart and his person solely through the music that has come down to us. This fictional scenario mirrors the situation we encounter with William Shakespeare. The complete absence of sources on the greatest universal genius of all time, the lack of any traceable artistic or literary existence during his lifetime, cannot simply have happened without reason. There must be plausible explanations for this, explanations that only become visible when one understands that the era's only true poetic genius, Christopher Marlowe, had to abandon his identity and name under the gravest threat to his life. He lived in anonymity and wrote under numerous pseudonyms, including the name Shakespeare, which he used as a mask for more than a decade. It is highly plausible that the man from Stratford was compensated for serving as a placeholder for Marlowe, who, facing immediate danger from inquisitorial proceedings, needed to protect his true identity. Yet to this day, the official Shakespeare establishment dismisses this theory as nonsense,